Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the 7 p.m. English newscast on Info Television. Our top stories. Some deserving police officers, cadet superintendents, and assistant superintendents have received distinction and diplomas this September 5, 2025 in a ceremony presided over by the Delegate General for National Security. And as September unfolds, meteorologists are forecasting a significant rise in rainfall across numerous regions in the country. Those were our top stories. Details in a jiffy. Welcome back. The Cameroon Real Estate Corporation has embarked on a partnership with the Ministry of Labour and Social Security, signing an establishment agreement on September 5, 2025 to promote transparency. The collaborations aim to enhance urban infrastructure and drive growth. Details in this report.
The Cameroon Real Estate Corporation (SIC) has taken a significant step towards promoting transparency, integrity, and responsible urban development by signing an establishment agreement with the Ministry of Labour and Social Security. Signing the partnership agreement on September 5, 2025 at the conference hall of the Ministry of Labour and Social Security, this partnership underscores SIC's commitment to equity by increasing the salaries of their workers.
Today,
our PTB profiles are really in the salary grid. We have had an increase of almost 25% in the salaries of our employees, which will comfort these families as well as the parents, because you know that the charges of a salary are something else. So we thank the government. So today, it matters that the government helps us apply the economic model which we have defined, and this will not only be done with the state but largely by private, national and international companies. The Minister of Labour and Social Security, Gregoire Owona, invited the director of SIC and his collaborators to lift up Cameroon. I would like to congratulate SIC for the work they are doing. This good working condition which you have created daily should follow with an excellent result. Through this collaboration with the Ministry of Social and Labour Security, SIC is poised to implement innovative strategies that not only drive economic growth but also safeguard the interest of all stakeholders involved. By prioritizing the interest of clients, employees and communities, SIC aims to make a positive impact on Cameroon's development. We need to follow the example of SIC in Cameroon, because SIC has to attain its objectives, and SIC cannot attain its objectives if its personnel is not in a good situation. SIC has therefore understood that they need to do something to motivate the staff and to get them to go with the general direction to achieve its objectives. The establishment agreement, signed in the midst of important government personalities, serves as a foundation for future projects aimed at enhancing urban infrastructure while ensuring that ethical standards and social responsibilities remain at the forefront of their operations.
And as you heard in one of our lead stories, some deserving police officers, cadet superintendents and assistant superintendents have received distinction and diplomas this September 5, 2025. This was at a ceremony at the National Advanced Police School in Yaoundé, presided over by the Delegate General for National Security, Martin Bargangele. Let's watch.
A parade that celebrates distinction, triumph, merit, and progress. While presiding over this solemn ceremony to award some police corps persons, the Delegate General for National Security, Martin Bargangele, urged the laureates to double their efforts in the security preservation of the country.
L'expression de la satisfaction et de la reconnaissance de votre travail par la très haute
An impression of satisfaction and recognition of your work is acknowledged by the highest hierarchy of the nation. I therefore urge you to redouble your efforts at work, to persevere in efforts, discipline and professionalism in the daily accomplishment of your missions to preserve the internal security of our dear country. Today, we are in a special context where our country needs all of us. Each of us, wherever we are, must demonstrate our patriotic love for Cameroon. National security is one of the ambitions of our country that is most in contact with citizens.
Doit démontrer son amour patriotique pour le Cameroun.
107 civil servants of the National Security Corps on the ticket of the 20th May 2025 National Day received medals, while 96 direct and special superintendents of police and 145 assistant superintendents of police got diplomas and epaulets. The graduating laureates were overjoyed by the recognition.
This medal is more motivation for me, for the hard working that we have to do every day. As the Delegate General says, it is a recognition of the work well done by us. So I'm very proud of this medal.
Aujourd'hui, le jour du triomphe, j'ai un sentiment à deux volets. Le premier volet, un sentiment de joie.
Today, which is a triumphant day, I have feelings of joy and freedom because it wasn't easy. 2 years here was not an easy task because we went through different steps like internship in Mutengene and others. And that is why today I don't just feel joyful, but I have a feeling of freedom that I'll be able to go back to my country and bring all the knowledge I have received here in Cameroon.
Emmener toutes les connaissances que j'ai acquises ici au Cameroun.
The ceremony, which held at the National Advanced Police School on September 5, brought together family and loved ones of the laureates to celebrate their new achievements.
And still on defense, the Defense Minister of Cameroon and the Central African Republic, Joseph Betty Assomo and Claude Rameau Bureau, have formalized a new partnership agreement. The partnership accord signing, which took place at the Ministry of Defense, is designed to reinforce military collaboration and regional security, as you tell us in this report. Patience Shinto.
A firm handshake and signed document. That's how Cameroon and the Central African Republic formalized a fresh military partnership at the Ministry of Defense in Yaoundé. Defense Ministers Joseph Betty Assomo and Claude Rameau Bureau said the accord is more than a formality. It is a pledge to stronger collaboration between two countries linked by history, geography, and cultural ties.
La signature de l'accord ce jour qui intervient dans un contexte très particulier.
The signing of this agreement today, which comes at a time when both countries are preparing for their presidential elections, constitutes a historic moment when it comes to defense. As such, our armed forces are henceforth formally bound by this agreement, thanks to the smart thinking of our heads of state, who consider the development and security of their people and of both countries as primordial. Before leaving, I extend to His Excellency Professor Faustin Archange Touadéra, President of the Central African Republic, Supreme Chief of the Armed Forces, warm and distinguished greetings from His Excellency Paul Biya, President of the Republic of Cameroon, Chief of the Armed Forces.
Ainsi que la très haute appréciation de son Excellence, Monsieur Paul Biya, Président de la République du Cameroun, Chef des Forces armées.
Minister Betty Assomo underlined that the deal will enhance joint efforts to secure borders and preserve peace. His counterpart, Claude Rameau Bureau, added that the arrangement reflects the determination of both heads of state to confront terrorism and violent extremism in the region.
L'année 2025 reste marquée sur le plan sécuritaire à travers des réformes portant organisation et fonctionnement des forces armées centrafricaines, suite à la levée totale
The year
de
2025 remains a remarkable one in the security plan through reforms and organizations in the Central African Armed Force. Our continent in general and Central African Zone in particular have been confronted with several political and security threats, extreme violence and terrorism, and other massive crimes. Faced with these challenges, the Central African Republic is ready to collaborate with partners that can help fight this in all diversity.
Poursuivra son plaidoyer à l'endroit de tous les partenaires afin de continuer l'œuvre déjà entreprise dans la diversité.
The ceremony drew leading government figures, including Cameroon's Minister of Territorial Administration, Paul Atanganji, Minister of External Relations, Lejeune Belambela, along with senior officers and distinguished guests. This new agreement opens a fresh chapter in bilateral relations and strengthens a united front for stability across Central Africa.
In a significant show of political solidarity, traditional rulers from the central region of Cameroon have decided to show their support to President Paul Biya in the upcoming presidential elections. This was during an audience granted them this September 4 by the Minister of State Secretary General at the Presidency of the Republic, Ferdinand Gongo. Jude Kenji reports.
The delegation of 31 traditional leaders from the Central region are received at the Unity Palace this Thursday by the Minister of State, Secretary General at the Presidency of the Republic, Ferdinand Gongo, who acted on behalf of the head of state, led by His Majesty Guy Talantomo, who serves as both President of the Traditional Rulers of the Central region and head of the National Council of Traditional Rulers of Cameroon. The group used the audience to make their political alignment clear ahead of the presidential election. They assured the Minister of State, Secretary General at the Presidency of the Republic of their unflinching and unconditional support to the CBDM candidate Paul Biya in the October presidential election.
We came to tell and to send a message to His Excellency Paul Biya, who is going to the competition for the election of the President of the Republic of our country next month, October 12th. We came to tell him that we have decided, we have given him our support since the beginning, and we did not take back this support. We came to tell him that we are mobilized and decided to mobilize our population so that his election as President of the Republic be a clear, a transparent election on the October 12th.
To physically symbolize their endorsement and the conferral of their authority behind the candidate, the delegation presented a traditional broom, a potent cultural emblem representing unity, strength, and the sweeping away of obstacles to Minister of State, Secretary General at the Presidency of the Republic, Ferdinand Gongo. The minister accepted the gift for onward transmission to President Paul Biya. The monarchs assured the president that he can count on their influence and mobilization within their communities as the election draws near. The audience concluded with the traditional rulers offering ancestral blessings for President Paul Biya and for peace to reign throughout the electoral process before, during, and after the polls on October 12th. Also present at the audience is Philippe Bargamboa, Minister in charge of special duties at the presidency, as well as Minister Muhammadu Mustafa, Deputy Secretary General No. 2 at the presidency.
Rodemaf women from across the nation on September 3 gathered for their General Assembly to promote peace in Cameroon while endorsing CPDM candidate Paul Biya in the upcoming elections. The ceremony took place at the Yaoundé Conference Center. Reports.
from across the national territory, Réseau de développement des femmes de la MEFO et Afamba, RODEMAF, held its General Assembly at the Yaoundé Conference Center on September 3, 2025, to promote peace in Cameroon. This was under the theme, RODEMAF Women and Citizenship during the election period, their roles in preserving peace in Cameroon and giving a 100% vote to the CPDM candidate Paul Biya. The president and founder of RODEMAF, Marie-Caroline Zé Azogo, a woman of strength and strong will, say RODEMAF will continue to show love to the CPDM candidate Paul Biya. I have the duty to galvanize you all this day for the few days left for our champion. On this day, the National RODEMAF is still testifying its love to say, Papa, we are 100% behind you. Saying yes to peace, RODEMAF women expressed their rejection to tribalism, hate speech, the exploitation of young people, and no to violence before, during, and after the presidential election come October 12, 2025. The event highlights the crucial role women play in fostering peace in Cameroon. In our context marked by the construction of political interest, with peace, we congratulate you and we exhort you all, women, participating in this ceremony to continue to work for the consideration of national unity and peace in Cameroon, despite the diversity.
Vous devez rester unis.
The colorful ceremony, attended by the senior divisional officer of Fundi, represented mayors, traditional rulers, and other important personalities, was graced with talks calling on women to be more reproductive and encourage the rights of women. The women were equally drilled on how to vote during the presidential election come October 12, 2025. Presentations were done by women from the various divisions. Their declaration to support the CPDM candidate reflects not only political alignment, but also a deep commitment to national stability and well-being of future generations.
Monsieur le Président, l'amendement musicien venu de 47 arrondissements du gouvernement national est derrière vous.
The National Assembly served as a rallying point for women to empower one another, promoting messages of unity and progress. The participants left inspired and motivated, ready to take an active role in upholding the values of peace and integrity. The ceremony ended with the awarding of certificates to deserving persons and a march past from the various branches of RODEMAF.
The Minister of Public Works, Emmanuel Nganu Njumesi, held a press briefing on September 4, 2025 to discuss the outcome of a 3-day meeting. The briefing brought together stakeholders in the road construction sector. Mimi Tiobo tells us more.
In regards to the 3 days workshop seminar with key stakeholders in road constructions at the Ministry of Public Works, Minister Emmanuel Nganu Njumesi held a press briefing on 4th September 2025 to address the media. This press briefing comes on the heels of a productive workshop where participants discussed various aspects of road development, including maintenance, rehabilitation, and construction. This press briefing was to shed light on the outcome of the 3-day workshop seminar.
With the government investment, our budgetary investment, we have delivered this section of the route Yaoundé, Obala, Bachenga, Nanga, Eboko, Mbet. Mora Chakameri is completed, Marwa Mora is completed, Samelima, Jumin, Tombala, Congo border is completed, Bachenga, Tui, Yoko, Lena, Tibati completed, Olama, Bingambo completed, Yaoundé, Bafoussam completed, and so on. Many of the routes are under rehabilitation.
While exchanging with the press, the state engineer Emmanuel Nganu Njumesi projected the face of the roads and bridges of the country while stating the levels of its progress. Some journalists also used the opportunity to ask questions seeking clarification on various aspects of the road constructions project.
You have this route, Babaju Banenda, is completed. Is completed the first two lots, that is Babaju Matazen and Matazen Welcome to Babaju. What remains are the works in the town, and the road band crossing 6.3 kilometers is already on the way. When I say it will be launched next week, I mean solemnly launch.
The press briefing provided valuable insight into the government's plans for improving Cameroon's road infrastructures.
Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for choosing to stick around with the news on Info Television. And as September unfolds, meteorologists are forecasting a significant rise in rainfall across numerous regions in the country. Our reporter Agnes Ayok sought the opinion of a climate expert who explains more on the prediction of the weather. Let's watch.
During the months of September, October, and November, weather experts are predicting a significant increase in rainfall across various regions, raising concerns about the potential for landslides. The forecast is primarily driven by a series of atmospheric conditions.
This year, we expect a late onset of the season, and our onset was forecasted from the 5th to the 17th of September, which is already very late. We expect heavy rainfall in the far northern part of the country. And then the population is advised to take necessary measures, especially those living in risk-prone areas, to make sure that they leave these areas during rainfall.
With the presence of heavy rainfall, soils become saturated, making them unstable and prone to landslide, posing serious risks to communities. To this effect, experts advise that
people are advised to avoid risky zones during heavy rainfall, disconnect electrical appliances during heavy rainfall.
The government must therefore put in place certain measures to ensure that the population is safe.
The government on its part takes measures as far as vaccination, because you know that the rainy season comes with some diseases. You have cholera, which is very likely in flood-prone areas. You have landslide, so the government can put in place the stock of medication and put in place also a team for rapid intervention.
As September unfolds, it is crucial for individuals and communities to stay alert and prioritize safety measures amid predictions and heavy rainfall and the associated risks and landslides. Therefore, planning and preparedness can greatly reduce the impact of these severe weather events.
And let's talk news out of Cameroon as Senegal's Layene Muslims lift up Dakar with prayers and chants to mark the Prophet Muhammad's birthday, while in Brazil, a police raid to free hostages left 8 suspects dead. And in Nigeria, the Dangote refinery faces a prolonged shutdown, raising fears of tighter petrol supplies on the global market. All of this with our reporter, Jessica Ndiwu.
Senegal's Layene Sophie celebrates Prophet Muhammad's birthday. Prayers and melodic chants filled the air in Dakar's Yoff neighborhood overnight on Thursday to Friday as followers from across the country gathered at Laye Seaside Mausoleum. They sang and moved their arms until the early hours of the morning. The concept of equality and spiritual unity is central to Layene's teachings, promoting peace and harmony not only within the Islamic community but beyond. While in Brazil, Rio police free hostages in raid that leaves 8 dead. In the daring operation, Rio police freed hostages and killed 8 suspects, including 6 men who had taken a pastor and a child captive. The operation targeted the Pure Third Command criminal group and a trafficker known as a colonel, accused of murdering a woman. The suspect resisted officers, leading to a shootout that paralyzed part of Rio, disrupting buses and trains, closing schools and forcing children in a daycare center to lie on the floor as gunfire erupted nearby. And in Nigeria, Nigeria's Dangote refinery faces potential disruption. The petrol unit at Nigeria's 650,000 barrel per day Dangote refinery may remain offline for 2 to 3 months due to major repairs and equipment replacement following a catalyst leak on August 29, 2025. Industry Monitor IIR Energy reports that this could lead to a tighter market. The refinery has reshaped global gas online trade flows, reducing imports from the European Union and the United Kingdom. A recent report noted a surge in petrol exports from the Dangote refinery, coinciding with partial or complete shutdowns of units in the Middle East.
And that does it for today's edition of our newscast. But before we go, a recap of our top stories. Some deserving police officers, cadet superintendents and assistant superintendents have received distinctions and diplomas this September 5, 2025 in a ceremony presided over by the Delegate General for National Security, Martin Bargan-Gele. And in a significant show of political solidarity, traditional rulers from the Center region pledged their unflinching support for President Paul Biya's re-election in the upcoming October presidential election. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks very much for your keen attention. That does it for our news. Take a rendezvous for tomorrow with another team. Thanks for watching and stay in the company of our programs.
Bienvenue à la Minute Santé du côté de chez Plante de Ville.